Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Ausra.
Let's start episode 203 of Ask Vidas and Ausra podcast. This question was sent by Robert and he writes, Hi Vidas, Robert here again from Vancouver, Canada. I'm at a point where I read well and have pretty good independence with hands and pedals. I seem to have trouble with arpeggios though, left and right hand. Basically, it's doing the fast transitions to other chords in the progressions, which are often in inversions. Any material you know of or from your own courses that really exercises a disciplined technique. Cost factor I'm fine with, as this is something I'd really like to get under my fingers yet, so to speak. I'm just playing this material way too slow. Appreciate your or Ausra's input. So Ausra, do you know of any courses or sources for information about learning to play arpeggios?
I'm sure there are plenty sources, how to play arpeggios well. But in order to do that, you even don't need any additional material. You can just do it on your own. Just pick up any key, for example, D major, and start playing the major arpeggios on the tonic chord.
But then you need to know the fingering.
Yes, you need to know fingering.
And usually the fingering is very naturally understandable if you have some experience with chords.
Yes. And I'm sure you could find in a library books that consist not only of arpeggios, but basically in order to build up your technique, as kids in an early age, we start to play scales, chords, arpeggios, and chromatic scales in various manners. And these four things actually that help build you up your technique.
In addition to etudes, right?
Yes, yes.
So one source to look at while waiting from our material, we haven't prepared such a course yet, but since you are in need now, you could look at hand-on exercises. And in part 2, at the end of part 2, they have scales and arpeggios in all keys. So that's all you need probably for now. And if while you are in hand-on collection, check out the previous exercises in part 1 too. They're very, very good. The aim for hand-on is to get perfect technique over time while playing on the keyboard only 1 hour per day. Because in a fast tempo, you can sight read entire collection. There are 3 parts in 1 hour. I don't know who can do this because it's really, really difficult. The third part, I mean, but virtuoso pianists can.
Sure. So, and for now, if you have trouble, getting a right arpeggio passage in the piece that you are working on, make an exercise from that particular spot. And check if you are playing it with the correct fingering.
What do you mean?
This is very important thing.
What do you
then
mean?
You will play it fast.
What do you mean, Ausra? Do an exercise based on your piece.
Well, take a spot that you cannot play well or you are making mistakes. Just a little excerpt of it.
Yes.
Then play it many times, especially in the slow tempo first. Check your fingering if it's correct. Then, increase the tempo.
Like 1 or 2 measures, right?
Yes, like 1 or 2 measures. Then you can make fun with it. You can transpose it too.
Oh.
Into different keys.
Right. And then Of course, by that time you even memorized this fragment.
Yes. And especially what I do with arpeggios, you have to know on which note to lean. If it's a short arpeggio, then it's enough to lean in one spot, usually at the bottom of a note or on the top of the note, depending in which direction the arpeggios go. But if it's longer arpeggio, lasts for more than one measure, then you will have to do another accent somewhere. So that's what helps me.
Usually those longer arpeggios are based on one simple chord, like C major tonic chord, and they just repeat the first scale degree 1 octave higher, 2 octaves higher, 3 octaves higher.
Yes, and even if if you make text mistakes, maybe you don't know what those chords are, those arpeggiated chords, and this is also a good way, to play piece better and to feel more secure with it, to know what theoretically is going on.
You mean that playing arpeggios will help you to understand music theory too?
Yes, that's right. That's what I mean.
Prepare for harmony.
Yes.
Nice. Do you think that isolating those measures and playing them over and over again, plus transposing them, probably from memory, would help you in improvisation?
Definitely, yes.
How?
Because you would develop sort of muscle memory when transposing excerpts like this. And at the beginning, you might need to think very carefully and slowly about them. But in time, I think you will be able to not think so much about them and do it almost automatically.
You will develop sort of a bag of tricks, right?
Sure.
That you could later use in your own improvisations. That's, of course, that will be in the style of other composers, though, right? But that's in principle the same technique that jazz players are doing. They listen to recordings over and over again, maybe now in a slow tempo, and transcribe in notes. They call them licks, those fragments, and they then memorize, transpose, and later reuse them in their own improvisations.
Yes, I think now in the 21st century we are too concerned about being original. Because look at the history of music. Composers, especially at the beginning of their career, we copied each other. We learned from each other. And it wasn't considered a crime, to copy somebody or some things.
Mm-hmm.
So I think why not, take something that is good from those times and do it nowadays, especially when we are talking about improvisation.
Mm-hmm. It's like a language, because music is communicating in some form of language, which is not text based but sound based. So if you have a version of language that other composers used and you like it, there is no crime in communicating in this language yourself, right? Or part of that language. Of course, you will shape and adapt that language for your own needs, right? As you develop. Because look, you will not only copy one composer, you will probably mix 10 or 20 composers together. Don't you think, Osha, that this way you will become original?
Yes.
This mix of 10 or 20.
Yes, it still will sound like you, not like somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it will remind of somebody else, but still it will be your thing.
Because other people who are doing the same thing, maybe they are copying other composers in that 20 group. Maybe some of them are the same like you are doing, but not all of them, and the mix would be unique.
Yes, that's true. So now going back to the chords, first of all, you need to check your fingering, if it's really comfortable and fitting the particular passage. Play in a slow tempo, transpose it to the other keys.
And do it over and over again.
Yes.
Excellent. I think this will be helpful to people who want to expand their technique and their creativity too.
Yes.
Thank you guys for listening. This was Vidas.
And Ausra.
Please send us more of your questions. This is really fun to helping you grow. And remember, when you practice,
Miracles happen.